Clues aficionados. I hope you're staying safe out there, paying attention to life's truths, clues around you. And if you're doing the holiday gig, that you're watching your drinks while you're out there having fun, paying attention to life's truths, clues while you're doing it up, and keeping safe while you're having a good time. I am finishing up my 5 days of colorful Colorado crime right now. And this one is the most important one to me, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I've actually had a chance to talk to Kathy, who is Rochelle's mother, and Rochelle Hammond is the one that is missing. I want to bring attention to this case because I think that too many people get called away to the blue-eyed blondness syndrome when there's plenty of other people in this world that are missing. And we could talk about missing Indigenous women on hours on end, missing Mexican women hours on end. You hear about it sometimes on the news, but you don't really hear a damn thing about it. I want to call attention to these cases, and that's why I basically started my channel, and to encourage people to pay attention to what's going on around them so that crime can be de-escalated if possible, or at least, you know, for you, not brought into your life. So let's get into this. Rochelle Hammond is the name of the beautiful soul that is missing. Her eyes are to die for, and her smile emblazons the sun. She looks like a pure heart and a true soul, and very much close to her family. It's a small family. She's close to her mom. They spoke to each other every day. She was living with her mom at the time that this happened. On August 15th, 2019, 30-year-old Rochelle Hammond, who is part Cherokee, left their home in Mosca, Colorado, and has never been seen or heard from since then. Her mother, Cheryl, has kept candles lit and has said many prayers and has played her daughter's favorite song, "You Are My Sunshine." And I think that evokes especially heartstrings for me, because I used to sing that to my grandbabies and to my own kids when they were babies. Babies just love that song. So it's amazing that she would love it too. And hoping and praying each day to see her daughter's face smiling as she walks through the door, saying, "Hi, Mom," encompassing her in a big hug to go along with that. The Christmas and birthday presents have been piling up, waiting for Rochelle, and they wait at her mom's house for her so that when the celebration takes place, they can relive the memories of the holidays that have been missed with her while she opens her own presents. For Cheryl, thinking of her daughter and where she may be is an everyday occurrence. The what ifs has caused her to have nervous breakdowns, and her appetite has dwindled to absolutely nothing. It affects you living in constant sadness because there's no closure, she has said. Cheryl said she and Rochelle moved to a rural part of Moscow, Colorado from Columbus, Ohio in July of 2019. About 3 weeks after they arrived on a warm August 15th of 2019, Cheryl headed out to run some errands. While she was out, Hammond left the home for a walk around 11:30 a.m. Cheryl said she was getting their self-service set up, fixed at a local store, and Rochelle's phone was with her. "I come home, no Rochelle." More yet. "I come home, no Rochelle," Cheryl said. This struck her as odd. It meant that the 30-year-old left the home with barely anything but the clothes on her back. No phone, no car, no ID, no computer, no medications. She left her dog behind. She works on cars and left her trailer full of tools at home too. Her mother was worried as night fell without a word from her. Concern bubbled up in her soul. "Then I thought, something is wrong," she said. And indeed, she was right. Something was wrong. Her was totally unlike her daughter not to come home or not to check in with her. She was worried because her daughter had a very trusting nature. She may have accepted a ride from somebody who had ill intentions, and she may have not noticed that. In addition to that, The cops said they had seen her the day before in a Safeway parking lot with a group of people. One of these was known to be a female addict. Now, you know, this group of people was probably extremely unscrupulous. Rochelle had no idea who she was talking to because you don't readily know people when you first move into town. They were probably a group of unscrupulous people, and she would have figured out that had she been given enough time. There's no way that she would have ran off without talking to her mother for 2 years. Her mom called for the help with the sheriff's office. They responded, searched the area on foot, but came up empty-handed. They returned the following day with dogs, a helicopter, and SUVs and found nothing to solve her disappearance. Hours ticked by into the next day, and then the next day. Days turned into weeks, which turned into months. That is why I believe she is being held against her will, Cheryl said. She suspects sex trafficking is somehow involved. I mean, it's easy to see how that could happen. If those people are just looking to make a buck, they'll sell your ass out in a heartbeat. A lead stuck out that had been turned into the law enforcement there. A tip that Rochelle may have been in California or Massachusetts. The names and addresses included in the tip were real. So law enforcement reached out to Oakland Police Department in California and the Randolph Police Department in Massachusetts. There has been little to no movement on their end of this case since he reached out. Not surprising, because they probably have crime coming out the yin yang, and unless they're petulant about calling them and asking about it, they're probably not going to respond. There has been little movement on their end for this case since he reached out. The police department found one day before her disappearance about the whole thing with the crowd of people and her hanging out with them. Cheryl had hired a private investigator. That stuff is so ridiculously expensive. I don't even know how she did it, but she did it for about 6 months. She followed up on rumors that her daughter was being kept by 2 bad guys named Double and Diablo. Double and Diablo. The whole Double D thing strikes me as funny and not real. She met with a local homeless man who wanted to try to help her out. She has received texts from burner phones from a person or people claiming that they had seen Rochelle in December 2019 and that she was being sex trafficked in Massachusetts and California. Something police are investigating. Now, how busy they are investigating that, I don't know. Though she says they take all information with a grain of salt, and I'm sure the police do too. Kathy has been sent numerous threatening scams over and over again. I can't even imagine how horrific that must be, to live in pain every day, wondering where your child is, and then have these asshole MFers like, what the royal fuck, playing her. Somebody sent her a picture with a man's hand over a woman's mouth with her daughter's eyes and her daughter's face, trying to say they knew where she was and trying to get money out of her. Unscrupulous people like that need to have their gonads electrocuted, honest to God. The police were able to determine it was a fake photo. The mother, of course, Cheryl, was shook up over the whole thing. Just the very idea of that happening to your daughter, whether it's real or not, is frightening. And she wants to explore every lead that come across her, whether it's true or not, because that's the only way she's going to follow up on her daughter, is to check everything out. Now, Rochelle has Cherokee blood. She has shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. Her septum is pierced, and she has multiple tattoos, including stars on her left arm, a skull on her right hand, and a cat with a bong on one of her shoulders. I just love that. I think I would have gotten along with her famously. She is not as muscular as she was prior to 2019, as in some previous photos as well. Her hair is longer than in the photos as well. The day she disappeared, she was wearing black Nike shoes, khaki shorts, and a black tank top. She is about 5 feet, 5 inches tall, and 115 pounds. Cheryl wants us to know that there's a $50,000 reward available for information leading to Rochelle's location. Anybody with information on Rochelle's whereabouts can call the please help find Rochelle and post there, or reach out to Cheryl at 937-9709. She also gave me a tip hotline number that I wanted to share. And that number is going to be 970. I hate telephones. I just had it up. 970-287-9082. Again, 970-287-9082. And it does take a village to work and save a beloved sometimes. And to tell you a little bit about Moscow, it is a small town, but it's a growing small town. The sand dunes have changed quite a bit. There used to be just a mound of sound when I used to take my kids out there. Now there's parking lot, ranger station, and outdoor potty. And of course, there's a fee to get inside of it too. I showed you pictures of the gator farm that they have out there. My friend Michael works there. And Moscow is under growth, just like any place else is. Alamosa is famous for the blessing of the bikes, which took place about the time that Rochelle was disappearing. And there would have been bike clubs from Las Vegas, New Mexico, from so many places. I mean, that whole town just gets packed with biker to biker action. It's crazy. So if you see something, say something. All my true clues aficionados, please, if you could, forward this tape so we can get the word out about Rochelle. And please like and subscribe, Thank you all so much for listening. Be safe and take care out there. Pay attention to life's truth clues around you. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know in the messages. I'm going to keep this case open, and I'll be posting it periodically every few months to keep Rochelle's memory out there. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. Stay safe, my true clues and autos. Love you.